Once upon a time, in the small, quirky town of Grumbleton, lived a young woman named Lucy. Now, Lucy wasn't your ordinary woman, she had an extraordinary dream. And that dream? To create the world's fluffiest, most delicious pancake. You might think, how hard can that be? But Lucy was determined to perfect the pancake. She wasn't just aiming for good. She wanted greatness. Lucy worked at a local cafe called the Wobbly Spoon, where the pancakes, despite being delicious, were sadly not flufftastic. They were decent. Just decent. But Lucy knew, deep down, that her pancakes could be better. She could do more than just decent. She could be legendary. So, one morning, armed with her trusty whisk and a heart full of ambition, Lucy set out to craft the perfect pancake. "Today's the day," she declared dramatically, as if the universe itself needed to hear her resolve. As she flipped her first pancake, she smiled. It looked like a pancake. A little too flat, but still, there was potential. Then she added a little more baking powder. And a little more. And then, a little more. The batter began to bubble and hiss, but Lucy, undeterred, poured more and more until, boom, her pancake shot off the griddle like a rocket, narrowly missing the ceiling fan. Lucy gasped, "Okay, maybe a little less baking powder." Determined, she tried again. This time, she added a special ingredient she'd heard about from an old cookbook, magic syrup, guaranteed to elevate any dish. What could go wrong? Everything. Everything went wrong. Instead of fluffy pancakes, Lucy's griddle was now home to an army of sizzling, singing, spontaneously dancing pancakes. They wiggled, jiggled, and jostled about like they were preparing for a Broadway show. Lucy stood frozen, watching in disbelief as pancakes hopped from the griddle and pirouetted into the air, landing with grace. They were beautiful. But they were not what she had envisioned. Just then, Mrs. Puddlewick, the cafe's eccentric regular, came in for her morning coffee. She peered at the chaos. Pancakes were everywhere, on the counters, hanging from the chandelier, even two of them were synchronized swimming in the sink. "Well, Lucy," Mrs. Puddlewick said, eyes twinkling. "I do believe you've outdone yourself." Lucy, her hair frizzing from pancake batter, sighed. "I was just trying to make the perfect pancake. Not whatever this is." Mrs. Puddlewick took a sip of her coffee, her expression thoughtful. "Perfection, my dear, is a tricky thing. It's wonderful to strive for, but sometimes, the fun is in the trying. You've made pancakes that no one else could, and that's something special. Maybe it's not the perfect pancake you need after all. Maybe it's about enjoying the process." Lucy paused. She looked around at her pancake-covered cafe and couldn't help but laugh. Mrs. Puddlewick had a point. The pancakes were definitely unique, and despite the chaos, everyone seemed to enjoy the show. Later that evening, Lucy served her pancakes to the customers, who couldn't stop laughing at the sight of the little dancers flipping and twisting on their plates. Some even tried to take a bite as the pancakes wiggled away, making for an entertaining challenge. By the end of the day, Lucy had a new perspective. Sure, her pancakes weren't perfect, but they were memorable. They brought joy, laughter, and a sense of adventure to every person who tried them. And so, Lucy realized that the pursuit of perfection had led her to something even better, the joy of creating, the fun of experimenting, and the ability to make people smile. The moral? Sometimes, the best thing you can do is not get it perfect. It's about enjoying the ride, and maybe making a few happy accidents along the way. Perfection isn't everything. Sometimes, the most memorable moments come from embracing the imperfections and enjoying the process of creation.